the community woke up.
Oh, because there's no other ones leading the Wednesday.
Yeah, they, but then they actually need support from me to motivate them, and I've got about now got about 15 youths.
Yeah.
Who they've been trained with the water thing project by the ICRC. So they are certified to be whatever, and I said, you guys got certified because of Red Cross, so you're Red Cross volunteers now. You must know that.
They're certified to be
to do water projects, like emergency water projects in emergency situations. So they've been like that with this ICRC water project. They actually did it.
So what do they do in the water project?
It's like taking the water from the source of the water and bringing it all the way to the community to make it accessible for the community to drink.
But so they go to other communities now?
No, it's not been like doing it. So
they're trained, but they haven't.
They've been training in my community because because of this. It was during that CCP process that we were doing.
Yeah.
We identified, like, we were doing all this problem identification and all that. And then when one of the CCP visit day, I actually told them that I was going to another community because we were targeting 5 communities, so one of the communities I had to go there. And then I told the boys that I said, no, this is the World Water Day, so what are we going to do about it? Our people, yes, you can see they're taking their water containers, going as far as about 2 to 3 kilometers walking distance, and then they're getting water from the source to bring it to their homes to make it for them to drink and cooking and all that. So what are we going to do about it? I said, I'm just leaving it to you guys. So how you come up with any plan, I will only accept it. So
this was the youth?
The youths,
yeah.
So I was at another community, and then they just sat down, discussed about it, and then they said, okay, we'll have to suppress Alex. So they said, we'll have to bring the water from the source all the way down to the community. So then they cut down bamboos, the strong bamboos.
On their own?
Yeah, on their own. They cut down bamboos and they have to bring the water from about, it's about 200 meters. So 200 meters.
So they were trained by ICRC?
No, before the training.
Oh, this is before
before the training.
Actually. Did you bring ICRC in? Did you ask them?
After the training. So what the guys did was actually before the training.
But did you go and knock on ICRC's door and say...
No, nothing like that.
How did they know that you
Because of the reports that I've been submitting to the branch, then maybe they may have access to that. And
maybe
yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more? When did you join the branch?
Actually, let me think. I think it was about... in 2011, I was the youth rep.
2011 youth rep? That's when you did the YABC training?
Yep. 2009 to 2011 I was the actually youth rep, so it was about 2006. Yeah.
And how did you find out about Red Cross?
Actually, they went to my community to run a training on basic community first aid and health and care. So that was how I found out of it, and then I said, I see that I have to go get more information from them, what they are doing about it.
Yeah.
And actually I came to register myself, and from there I started going to the trainings, in-house trainings, everything, and I started learning things.
It's 30 minutes from your community, the branch.
Yeah, about 30 minutes driving.
So what have been the big change for you through the Red Cross?
No, it was actually like, I started learning things, and then I grew myself knowledge about the community level. But then I saw that through the response trainings, I saw that my community was really vulnerable. So then I said, okay, there's no one going to help my community, I have to do something.
You didn't realize it was vulnerable before?
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were vulnerable
think
before.
About it?
Didn't think about it. Actually, I took it as like, it's okay, I've got my food in my home, I've got water there, I've got food there, I've got money in my pocket, so what more do I need? So I did this, I said, I'm okay. And then when people started talking about vulnerability, I said, what are they trying to talk about? Because I'm okay, everything was okay. I've got a house. And then I said...
So your house is your family's house?
Yeah, before I said a family house, but now I've got my own house.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you say everything was fine for you, you were working?
No.
So how were you making money?
Well, I've got my coffee trees.
Coffee trees?
Yeah. So it's like
coffee trees. You sell coffee?
Yep, we sell coffee.
So you're a coffee grower?
Yep.
Coffee bean grower?
Yeah. So it's like actually like when in the islands we've got our own coffee trees, coffee plots. Like every male has to own a coffee plot. So the father makes sure that he plants a coffee plot for the young, I
Okay.
guess, family in the a male in the family. Then the father has to make sure that when he grows up, he has to have a sort of a background for finance background and all that. So he makes sure that there's coffee plot for him. So I was the elder in the family, and then my father is a teacher by profession. So he was not always at the village. He is always out of the town. So then I'm the one at the village. So then, I got this coffee plot. So it's okay. I can do whatever I want to do.
And can you tell me again about the what have been the main points for you, like main changing points in the Red Cross?
The main changing points was that when I came to do the CCP training.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing that I had community issues, even for myself as well. I saw that now I was vulnerable as well as my community, but the whole community, we were vulnerable to all these communicable diseases and everything. Like we thought we were okay, but actually we weren't okay. We were really vulnerable. So
discovering your vulnerability, when was that? Which year was that in?
I think it was where the CCP training we started. It was about 2009, somewhere around 2009.
2009.
Yeah, we started doing that CCP training, and then I started, when going through our levels of capacity, we saw like each sort of you have to assess yourself, the self-measurement of change tools that we've got in the CCP. I started measuring myself, and then you have to be really honest with yourself to assess yourself. If you are not honest with yourself, then it won't show your vulnerability.
So when did you start giving back to the community? How long did that take? And what was the first thing you did?
The first thing I did was I had to come to the branch and pester them to bring a training to my community. I said, my community needs a first training, so you people have to do a training for my community alone. Not
Fantastic.
Like no neighboring communities, but my community alone. So and then the branch agreed that they had to go and do a first training in my community.
When was this? Soon after you joined, or it took a while?
It took about 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2
Okay.
years. So
that's when you started getting confidence too. After 2 years.
After 2 years, I got it.
You asked for first aid training.
Yep. And then we did a first aid training, and then it was followed by this CCP training. And then the major part that happened to me was after the YABC training. It was my turning point from there. Because before that, I was not a good public speaker. I usually stammered, and then Charlotte had to control me. Now, Alex, you have to control yourself. Like if you want to talk, you have to control your breathings and all that. So I started controlling myself. And after that, the biggest turning point for my own personal life was like after that, the YABC. Everything changed. Yeah. I saw that it has to become, in order to change people, I have to change myself. And then before that, I was not a good public speaker, but I was always at the background of things.
Yeah.
Telling people to do what they have to do, but I was not at the forefront. So then from after the YABC training, I saw that I had to be in the forefront to lead people, not at the back to steer them, but I had to be in the front to lead people.
So what did you do when you went back after YABC?
After the YABC, like we were using those platforms for sports and dance and all that, so I was actually a good sports person. And then I had to use my skills on sporting. Then I said, okay, we have to organize the sports. And then I started getting the views from the community, the youths. I said, what do you think? I think that if we had a sports activity for the Christmas and New Year period, it would be much better. So I started getting the views from the youths. So the youth said, it's a good idea, why don't we give it a try? So I said, okay, I told them, people have to do, what you have to do is you have to find teams. So we're going to play volleyball, but you have to make teams. So then the youth, they made about, the female they made 12 teams, and the male they made 12 teams. So it's
12 teams?
12 teams each.
How many people in your village?
About 790. 790.
790, and you had 24 teams?
Yep.
Of how many people?
9 to a team.
9 to a team. Yep. So you had about 240 people.
Yep.
That's a third of your community.
Mostly the youths.
And how long did that competition go for? Or is it still going?
Yeah, it's still going, but only as of last year, because the field that we were using to play belongs to a guy, and he decided to plant crops on that field. So we were a bit stagnant for that only, but now this year we're going to pick it up again.
So where are you going to play?
Within the community, but we found a field already, so we're going to start.
Okay, and it's volleyball?
Yeah, volleyball. Because if you play a contact, body contact sports, then people might get aggressive and all that. So, of course, also we have to play a game that is not sort of physical, you know.
And so what do young people say since they've been playing? How's it impacted on their lives?
Like they were looking, because when I saw that, you know, it's not one of things. So I told them, if you want to be the champions of your team, in the afternoon I want to see every team they come for trainings. Every team member has to be in the training. In the morning you've got your jobs to do, you've got to do to your workplace, and I don't want to see any young bloke hanging around within their community. In the mornings you're going to go to your workplaces, like you have to go to your gardens, wherever you want to go, you just go. And in the afternoon it's...
Can we sit down?
Yep. Starting from 3 o'clock on, 2:30 to 3 o'clock onwards, that's it, about